Hey, my name is Joshua Edjida. I'm the creator of the LUCID Filmmaking system. And I've tried to simplify this. It is based on literally decades of trial and error research, being a filmmaker myself, going deeply into spirituality and what is reality, and combining everything into a very simple 5 levels that I call the levels of lucid filmmaking. So, what is that? What does it mean? Is this some kind of consciousness, spiritual philosophy? No, this is supposed to be a grounded, measurable, very specific issue that can be analyzed without being a uh, spiritual master. In fact, using our Lucid chatbot, you can plug in any movie and the chatbot will analyze and say, this is the level that this movie is operating at. And the chatbot can even give you more detail than I can. It can say the directing is at this number, this level 1 through 5. The directing, the cinematography, the editing, the storytelling, production design. It can give you a level for every different department. So, what is the point? This isn't just so we can feel good. This isn't just so we can feel smarter. I have done an analysis of 200 wide release films over the past, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 years or something. And the analysis, I took the budget and the revenue from all of these films and their lucid ratings, and I graphed the data. And it's very obvious to me. It already was, but I wanted to prove it mathematically. So it became very obvious that level 4 films simply do the best. Level 4 films make the most money. And there are 5 levels. So level 5 films, for example, like 2001 A Space Odyssey is a level 5 film. They don't do as well because after it gets to a genius film, which is level 4 film is a genius film, level 5 film represents like pure consciousness. And that can be too much for people. It can go over people's heads. And so it doesn't make as much money typically, but it does have a staying power. So level 5 films tend to be up for Academy Awards and then stay in theaters longer as a result, and they still make more money than a level 3 film. So aiming for level 4 or 5 is ideal. Level 4 films, genius films, are, I want to say, not easy to make. Why is that? Because you have to have a lot of discipline inside of yourself, in your mind and in your body, to not create from the wrong reasons, to not create from tropes and cliches, to not create from fear or from wanting to be seen or from wanting to be famous or to wanting to get approval of the audience, wanting someone to, people say, feel something. Movies are so that you can feel something. That's not a good reason to make movies, right? You think like Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a level 4 film. They put all this effort into making these animated characters, and it's like this neo-noir mystery with like a whole world of animated characters. Do you think they made that just so you could feel something? That's like a silly reason, right? It's not like some intense drama. It's like a wildly unique world that you're entering into, and it changes how you see possibilities in the future. You might not be able to detect the change that it made upon you, but the imprint of a level 4 or 5 genius film, the imprint is so strong upon your consciousness that a level 4 film like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or like The Matrix did for me can make you want to become a filmmaker. It can reveal to you the possibilities of storytelling. It can reveal to you why storytelling is such a, let's say, popular phenomenon in the first place. Originally, storytellers were the elders around the campfire conveying wisdom to the younger generation. And so fables, storytelling, is a vehicle for conveying that wisdom that they wouldn't otherwise understand, right? If I tell a 10-year-old boy, here's how to treat a lady, it's going to be like nonsense. It's going to be like in one ear and out the other. I want to go play my video games. Obviously, video games were not around when this original storytelling around the campfire was around. But the point is, 10-year-olds don't have the developmental capacity to understand intellectually how to treat a woman. But if that message, that same message, is wrapped up in a story and it creates a felt sense of the issue, it creates don't go too far this way, and it creates don't go too far this way, and like somewhere in the middle is the sweet spot. Then they get a felt sense for it because their intellect can't handle such nuance. But the nervous system is designed for that kind of nuance. So my point is that the lucid system helps us understand how our own nervous system as filmmakers, how our own nervous system and consciousness relates to storytelling. And it helps us get out of our stuck patterns. It helps us become aware of the emotional repression that keeps a film as a level 1 or 2 or 3. And by getting out of these stuck patterns, we are free to be able to kind of go wild with our storytelling and push the edges and create something totally unique. It's trying to play it safe that comes from fear. It's trying to appease everybody or trying to like aim for a specific audience that comes from fear. Like most horror films, for example, people rely on these because they're consistently cheap to make, and people will sometimes pay to go see them. And so they have a good ROI. And so people end up relying on horror films because they're playing it safe, right? Horror films are reliable because there's always a certain sect of the population, frankly, which is willing to pay to be traumatized. If you look at it from like a therapeutic perspective, that's what's happening. Is if they were traumatized as a kid and they're accustomed to having, blood and guts in their face, or fear, danger, alarm bells, then they're going to seek that out in their life, in their partnerships, in their jobs, and at the movie theater. So playing it safe is kind of feeding into a system that we don't really want to exist, but it makes us money, right? So actually giving a whole different priority and direction to how we create films, and actually learning how your genius operates is a very specific issue. And usually it takes a very specific training. It's very difficult to operate from your genius and not get sucked into playing it safe, cliches, all these things that cause a lucid level 1, 2, 3 kind of film, and sticking with your own unique genius is it can be a very scary process, because when you're making a genius work, you're blind to it. So this is what the lucid filmmaking system is for, is to help us understand how we can categorize different levels of consciousness for different types of filmmaking to increase the ROI. So I'm going to make other videos on this channel so that you can get more insight into how this works, why this works, and what I'm talking about. And again, this is not just philosophy. This is a very practical, tangible issue, which is invisible, so it's very hard to talk about. But if you can, it's like communications. It's like you can't see it, but you can feel it, right? Somebody becomes an expert in communications, they can't, like, if they give you a certificate, who cares, right? It's about how they communicate. It's the lived experience of the work, right? So what I'm talking about here, I can't just like say this is how you do it. It's a process to be able to gain this skill. And so I hope you'll visit me in my other lucid filmmaking videos on this channel so we can get more deeply into it. And you can always feel free to take our storytelling style quiz, find out what your storytelling style is, 1 through 9, and I look forward to hearing how that goes for you. Feel free to leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. This is Joshua. See you in the next video.